Living your purpose as a child of God. Thank you for tuning in here and clicking on my video. I'm a firm believer that God created every single person for a purpose. I noticed that a lot of people refuse to live out their mission in their life because they receive so many defeating messages about who they are and what they can accomplish in this life because of people who tell them that you can't do this, or this is how you are, this is just who you are, this is just what you can do or you can't do. And a lot of these messages are actually very negative and they're very defeating, and they don't help us to live out our purpose as the children of God. We can live out our lives and do things that we don't really enjoy, that we don't really love, and we don't really find fulfillment from, and yet say, okay, this is my cross, I have to carry it, and we just, go on struggling with like this, and we don't find any kind of fulfillment. And instead of growing in our relationship with God, we tend to fall back, we tend to separate from God more. So the opposite of this is that we look at our lives and look and ask ourselves, what are the wrong things that I believe about myself? What are the wrong beliefs that I have about who I am, what is my worth, and what can I do for this life around me? How can I live out a life that helps me flourish and helps the people around me in my community also flourish? So many times we stick to environments that are very negative and they bring us down. That's not good. That's not healthy, and that's not going to help you grow. Especially if you are not able to provide, you know, uh, unconditional love to those people. So sometimes we surround ourselves with a community because we know that we need to live in community. But this community brings us down, it doesn't lift us up. And instead of us having a positive influence on that community, we end up receiving their negativity, believing it in our lives, and going down. You don't want to go down. You want to be able, the person who is living, if this is the scale of like up here, down here, you want to be the person who is living out their purpose. Wherever you are, however many skills you have, however many abilities you have, however many venues for you to serve, if you are living out the purpose that God created for you, to produce peace and love around you, to be the light that you are meant to be, you will be most fulfilled, and your relationship with God will get better despite the struggles, despite the valleys and the low times, despite everything. Once you set out your mind to ask God, God, help me to do the thing that you want me to do. Help me to live out your will for me. A lot of times we don't want to live out God's will for ourselves because the world tells us you need to live this way or you need to live this way. And lo and behold, so many people now think that success means money. Okay, that's okay, but it's not true. Actual success means glorifying God in your life, at least for a Christian. This is our purpose, to bring the light of the good news of the gospel to the world. This is our mission, everybody's mission as a Christian, everybody's mission in general, but because as Christians, this is what we believe in, this is what we need to actually live out. How you're going to live out this mission is really something for you to struggle to find out. And my hope is that through my videos and my blog, I'll be able to share some of my struggles and some of my reflections on my own life that will help me as I grow on this journey with you and help you figure out where you're getting negative messages from the outside. Where are the defeating messages coming into your life? How can you overcome these messages? And the third thing is, how do you recognize what's true and what's not true? What's true is as a negative message that you might identify as a negative message, maybe something that is a weakness in you. And this is a weakness that God wants to use still. This is not something that God wants you to dispose of. This is something that makes you human. And it makes you vulnerable. It makes you needy. It makes you in need of growth. So when we identify our own weaknesses and we recognize our own strengths, which people don't necessarily always help us find our strengths, but we have to go on and find those for ourselves. So as we do that, we identify our strengths and our weaknesses. We can filter out all the lies, filter out all the things that you don't believe are true about yourself. And then sit back and recognize that God sees you as a beautiful, beautiful creation. You are worthy of God's love, but not because of anything that you did. So my whole goal is not to say that we are worthy by ourselves innately, but we are worthy because Christ came on this earth, He was incarnated, and He became man, He lived among us, and He elevated the human race. He made us worthy because He loved us so much, even when we were sinners. He came to this earth to take us with Him, to elevate us with Him. So when God looks at you and me, He sees Christ. He sees the work that He had been planning from the very beginning of creation. He sees beauty. He sees someone that He created with abilities, strengths, and weaknesses, and so much potential. So much potential. Every single person has so much potential. But when we don't live out that potential, we feel empty. We feel used. We feel self-pity. We feel all of these negative feelings that we don't know how to reverse. So many times we get those feelings and we're like, I don't know how to fix this problem. And we end up throwing our life away with things that are defeating to our purpose. Like, for me, I struggle with overeating. For others, maybe it's drinking alcohol. For someone else, maybe it's smoking. For someone else, maybe it's addiction to this one thing or another. We try to fill the void that is created in our lives because we're not able to live out our potential with very self-destructive things. So hopefully, and you have to pray for me, and I will pray for everybody who's watching this video, we can recognize that we can do a lot of great things with our lives, in our jobs, in our families, in our studies, in every single venue where you find yourself, you can be great. How? Because how? Not why, but how? By recognizing that you are a child of God with so much potential, so much strength, so much power that you don't even recognize sometimes. You have so much to offer and so much to give. But unless you see yourself as a child, as a rich, rich child of God, you won't be able to accomplish these goals. So I pray and hope that some of my videos will be helpful for at least one person out there, at least one person. And if you don't mind, you can subscribe to my channel. You can check out my blog page in the bottom area right there. And share this video with your friends. Let me know if you have any questions. I know I don't have a lot of videos right now, but I am working on putting out more. I hope that you found benefit, and hopefully see you in the next video. Bye!